Have you ever wondered how you got your personality? Specifically, how does our genetic blueprint interact with our upbringing? This is where the long-standing nature versus nurture debate begins, when it started in the mid-1800s. For decades, thinkers framed this as a competition. Modern scientists have concluded it is not a matter of one or the other, but rather a sophisticated combination of both. While nature established our genetic foundation, it is nurture that allowed us to build upon that point. Dancing could be an example of nature versus nurture working together. Say dance partners are performing the tango or the salsa. The dance is incomplete without both, therefore giving us the point that our personality simply cannot reach full development if one is missing. So, while we go through this, we will explore the description of nature, nurture, impact on intelligence, and personality, and we will have a recap. To start with, I was born naturally smart. But how and why? It couldn't just be school. So then, let me see here. So I've always been a quick learner and I've always adapted well. According to my family, I've been that way since I could speak. I ask again, how and why? Nature. Nature is the biological blueprint you were born with. It's the complex deck of genetic cards dealt to you at conception, dictating everything from the color of your eyes to certain predispositions in your personality. Genes carry instructions for physical characteristics and have been shown to significantly impact temperament and intelligence. Of course, we can't forget about nurture, the building blocks. Nurture dictates everything, dictates which genetic traits are expressed, and it influences development by activating or silencing genes. So enabling, limiting, or modifying inherent characteristics is part of it. This process plays a significant role in shaping personality, self-esteem, and cognitive abilities, acting as the environment that allows natural potential to either flourish or struggle. Epigenetics is exactly what this is, the study of how genes are silenced or activated, which determines how genetic predispositions manifest. A primary driver of nurture is parenting. Positive child development, warm, consistent, and supportive parents can bring out positive child development. This foundation fosters emotional stability, consciousness, and superego. The superego is the part of the mind that acts as a self-critical conscience, reflecting social standards learned from authority figures. Some people think that superego is a bad thing, but really it's the best part of your personality that you could get. Ultimately, nurture is programmed by your environment, including the quality of your education, environmental safety, personal relationships, and life experiences. Moving on to the impact of nature and nurture on intelligence. There is no single gene for intelligence. There are thousands of genes that contribute small cumulative effects, and these genetics influence brain efficiency, impacting our IQ, levels throughout our lives. Studies show that genetics provide 40 to 80% of an individual's IQ. And then how nurture affects it is through the quality of the environment you are given, which can lead to it either flourishing or decreasing the amount of intelligence you have. Again, with the epigenetics, it can silence the genes that give you intelligence. So, some key factors include stimulation, nutrition, prenatal health, but however, things that significantly influence IQ include socioeconomic status, parental education, and school quality. Therefore, giving you all of the nurture facts that you would need to have a good education. Even if you are naturally smart, you need a supportive environment to reach the upper limits of your genetic potential, whereas deprived environments can lower it. Furthermore, as you age, environmental influences tend to decrease because the brain reaches full development around the age of 25. The relationship is like a train and its tracks. The train cannot travel without the tracks, and the tracks are merely an obstacle for others and utterly useless without the train. As you can see with the tracks in the train. But what about personality? Nature and nurture are deeply entwined. Genetic influences tend to be relatively stable throughout life. That's when the environment steps in to change that stability. Environmental factors can alter gene expression. A child with genetic predispositions for high anxiety may not develop an anxiety disorder if raised in a supportive, stable environment, therefore not having anxiety later on in life. A shy child from nature can become socially active in favorable and encouraging conditions, giving into the nurture side of the argument. So they could be an introvert but turn into an extrovert. Then again, we can say, all in all, your personality can stay the way you were at conception or be thrown completely out of sight and change dramatically from your environment. But that doesn't mean nurture won't work with nature. Nurture can substantially make certain genes grow into more, better, or worse. To summarize, our development is a lifelong collaboration between nature and nurture. Nature being what provides our biological blueprint, sets the range for our intelligence, and the baseline for our temperament. It is the deck of cards dealt with at birth. Nurture acts as the architect, determining which of those genetic traits are actually built or expressed through epigenetics. Intelligence is the high-stakes partnership where genetics sets a potential ceiling. Oh, whoa. Excuse me. Thank you. Sorry. Determining where genetics sets a potential ceiling. But environmental factors like education and nutrition determine whether we ever reach it. While we may be born with certain predispositions, a supportive or challenging environment can dial those traits up or down, proving that our genetic fate is rarely set in stone. It's like a roller coaster. Ultimately, the debate is no longer about which force wins, but how they interact, like the train and its tracks or the partners in a dance. One cannot function meaningfully without the other. You may be born with the engine of a genius or the spark of an extrovert, but without the fuel of a stable environment and the oxygen of opportunity, that potential remains dormant. We are not merely products of our DNA, nor are we blank slates written on by our parents. We are the unique living result of a continuous conversation between our biology and our world. Understanding this balance doesn't just explain who we are, it shows how much we can grow.